Good morning. Welcome back. Good having everybody. Today, I want to talk about a topic called Good Tired. I titled it Good Tired. This is really the only thing that I can think about and what I thought appropriate title would be. So, let's talk about it in the business context, all right? And I want to start by sharing a little bit about the journey, how I got into business, why I realized business was for me. Because, in today's time, I think a lot of people are thinking about that is, do I have job security? Is where I'm working right now where I want to be for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years? Do I see myself retiring doing what I'm doing? I feel right now a lot of people are wanting to get into business is and to do something for themselves. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk a little bit about when I was an employee, what I was feeling, how I was operating, what kind of pushed me towards the business owner lifestyle. And then once I got into business, what are some tips that kind of helped me through that? Okay, so wherever you're at, maybe you're working somewhere, you want to get into business, or maybe you are a business owner, either new or a little bit seasoned. This stuff I think is timeless. So let's start with how I got into business and why I knew it was a fit for me. I don't know if this describes any of you guys out there. However, doesn't matter where I worked, what job I had, I find myself capped out and kind of lost interest within 18 months. 18 months is usually about that time frame for me. I was excited. I would get in there. I would do a lot to excel, and then 18 months later, it was this plateau. And it happened more than once. So I know for me, that's the time frame. Some people might be shorter, some people might be longer. 18 months was about it for me. And I started reflecting, okay, why is this? How does this happen? A lot of it is fulfillment. I find that once I stop growing, I find that I max out in that world, in the employee type world. Uh, I don't find the drive anymore, right? And I don't know if it's the system on how it's designed. This is just a personal opinion. It's not like I've done a lot of studies, just kind of what I'm reflecting on. I find that in that world, going the extra mile doesn't always give me the extra reward. I like showing up early. I like being prepared. I like staying longer. I like to accomplish what I'm there to do at my absolute best. Now, I don't know if you guys ever noticed this. However, the guy that's next to me that might not work as hard or put in as many hours or deliver as much results, our paychecks are quite similar. And all those extra miles might not necessarily mean advancement or promotions because some of those positions are also quite limited. So it got to a point where you can put in a lot of effort, a lot of extra hours, although at the end of the day, my results and my progress is plateaued. So it got to a point where I kind of coined the statement is an environment where they paid me enough just for me not to quit, and yet I kind of figured out how much effort to put in not to get fired. It kind of sounds like not the best attitude, although over time, I find myself in that position for me about 18 months. Okay. So if that kind of describes you a little bit, maybe business owner is for you. Maybe somewhere in there, you're saying, I want to go build something for myself. I want to go do something where if I put in the extra effort, I get rewarded for that. And long term, I can build something that I'm proud of. And when I'm talking about building something, on the tangible part would be the business. The intangible part will be myself, because the more I grow, the more my business grows, the more results in the business sense would be cash flow, would be money, would be how many families your business serves or how much value you're bringing to people. So all that stuff is measurable. So if that kind of describes you, maybe business might be for you. Okay. Now, let's talk about getting into business. Once I am in business, now is a different arena altogether. I have to shift my mindset because when I started in business, it was a part-time thing too. It wasn't like I quit my full-time job and I went into doing business for myself, right? I didn't even know what that would look like. It was just kind of a transition, and one thing led to another, and I woke up later without a job and I'm a full-time business person. So there was a transition in there. So in the early stages, it was a mindset battle, right? In my mind, I go, it's impossible for me to want to work 8 hours for somebody else and build someone else's business and come home and not build my own goals and my own dreams. So I have an outlet now to put my extra mile, my extra effort. So I would go put in my 8 hours in that arena that paid me what it paid me, and then my extra effort that brought me that fulfillment, I can now soak it into business where long term it reflects me. Okay, so I put in additional hours. I found an outlet that brought me fulfillment. Started with that. And then once I am in business, there's a saying, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 20, because I'm about winning. I love competing. I think human nature is somewhere in there. We kind of stack ourselves. And I got myself a little bit frustrated at first because I find a lot of people in business highly successful, and I just couldn't wait to get there. It's like a constant tug of wars. Dream big, think possibility, um, be impatient a little bit, with yourself. At the same time, you got to trust the process. So it was a funny time. Um, Although I didn't know that if someone can do it, I can do it too. If someone can transition from employee to business owner, I can too. If someone can just learn, like not, I don't think we're all born with these natural instincts and skill sets in business. It can be learned. It's a skill set. So I track my repetitions every day. I looked at, how do I hone my skill set? How do I build my mindset? What books should I read? What audio should I listen to? What should I be practicing? And on a day-to-day basis, I did this, right? Repetition is key. Repetition is the mother of all skill, right? If you're not the best at something, repetition can solve that. You can get good over time. And I had a saying, I go, I'll make up in numbers what I lack in skill. All right. And I knew, being in my mind, these are just things I created. If I'm a new kid on the block in business, I need to put in more hours and effort into this business arena now if I want to excel and somewhat compete in the business world. So I had to really master what I do. And I put in hours and hours and hours. Now, this is a interesting time too, because my work now, I can put in minimal effort, minimal energy, and I kind of just cruise. Even though it's numb, it did brought me a return. I put in 1 hour, I got an hour's pay, right? However, in my business, I put in a lot of effort, a lot of hours, yet there's minimal pay, right? Because I'm almost going from like a high school level back down to elementary level in a different arena, right? So I'm putting in all this effort into my business, yet it didn't reflect in the result. Um, and that was frustrating at first. And I had to really trust that process and know that the more work I put in, it will pay off. Okay? The harder you work, the luckier you get, right? I had to believe in that one way or another. Okay? And these are things that people told me, even though that uh, impatient about me and wanting to win and get it done kind of takes over sometimes. These are things that kept popping in my head. Trust the process. Put in the hours. It will pay off. All right? And I heard this definition once. They say lucky is just preparation meet opportunity. So I'm putting in all this hours, all this repetition, all this skill set, all this mindset in hopes to get that breakthrough moment, right? And it happens. And it happens more than once. And it happens at different levels. This to me is me growing again, is me taking it to the next level again, is me developing a different skill set now in this time and day and age to be prepared for other opportunities that might pop out that require this. So everything I do has somewhat of an intention to better myself. And somewhere in my mind, I just know that it's going to open doors that it probably didn't have before. So I put in all this time, all this effort, just waiting for a breakthrough. And you'll start to see that time after time, a little bit over a little bit, year after year, your part-time business starts to outpay your full-time work because this is linear, right? And as this surpasses that, that's a great feeling. It got to a point where I had true liberty, where I get to let go of my job and I get into business. And for once, I didn't have someone telling me when to show up, when to leave, how long my lunch break is, what my quotas are, what results I need to bring, bust my butt off for 50 weeks for 2 weeks vacation. Like, none of that stuff is relevant anymore. And now I am in control of where I'm going, right? So that was kind of the transition. So what's worked is the hours, the tug of war about being patient at the same time, impatient at the same time. Like, is a very funny skill set, and to trust your body to kind of go is a little bit of back and forth as you grow. Until I can get there. So the good tired, the topic of today, is until I can let go of my job, and I was putting in double hours, 8 hours at work, and then many hours, sometimes more than 8 hours in my business. I always say 9 to 5. I fund my paycheck, my day-to-day expenses. 5 to 9 minimum, I build my life and my business. Okay, 9 to 5 is my job. 5 to 9 is my business, right? And the good tired comes from that fulfillment. Is every time I go from 5 to 9, a lot of times it's actually 5 to midnight, 5 to 1 a.m. I lay my head down on the pillow and I pass out. And that's the first time I ever felt good tired. Is I'm beat. However, I knew I was growing. I was fulfilled. I'm doing something that long term I know is good for people, good for myself, and I enjoy being tired. I never felt that before working somewhere else. So I know it's the progress and building something that has my brand on it, that reflects me over time, is good for people. I'm developing myself. This progress is where good tired comes from. Man, we're over time. We're gonna have to wrap that up, right? I really want to talk about this thing called deserving factor too. So maybe on a later date, that's a topic on its own. However, the harder you work, the more you feel like you deserve, right? So it actually brought me a lot of excitement into my job, because I would go in there happy. I would overperform, looking forward to go build my business again. And the harder I work, the more I knew I deserved, and it kind of brought me into this business world that I am now. So we got to end on that, guys. My friends who helped me manage this, they might not be happy with the 13-minute video. So anyway, that's what's going on. That's kind of my life. Maybe in a later segment we can talk about these things separately. What's a deserving factor is all about. What are the fundamentals in winning? Because it's just a formula. It's just a recipe. Okay. It is not so much natural talent. So we can talk about those things. Alongside, if there's anything that kind of caught your attention today in this video that you want me to dive into, you can put in the comments there. You can let me know, because every one of those things could be its own topic. Okay, so we'll end on that today, just to share with you a little bit about my mindset, my journey. And that's what we'll do. Let's dedicate next week to some of these topics of deserving factor, the success formula, and winning in business. And we can talk about those things next week. Okay, so hopefully you guys got some value on that today. If you did, please comment. I do my best to respond to all of you guys. Hit a like and share. You never know in a time like right now who needs to hear these words of encouragement to maybe take a leap into building something for themselves. So like, comment, and share. And I do appreciate all of you guys for joining me this morning. Okay, go kick some butt today and go win big today and into the weekend. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day.